Arms sales. France will soon overtake Russia.
Over the past 30 years, the United States, first, and Russia, second, have largely dominated the global arms market. However, the gap between these two countries has widened significantly between 2013-17 and 2018-22. For example, sales of U.S. military equipment represent 40% of world exports, while the market share of the Russian arms industry has fallen by 31%, standing at 16%. This is confirmed by the Stockholm International Institute for Peace Research, SIPRI, in a study that has just been published. The number of major recipients of Russian arms fell from 10 to 8 between 2013-17 and 2018-22. Exports to India, the largest recipient of Russian arms, fell 37%, while exports to the other 7 recipients fell 59% on average. The document states, noting that Russia, however, has increased its exports of military equipment to China, plus 39%, and Egypt, plus 44%, which are now its second and third customers. However, the war in Ukraine will likely exacerbate the decline in Russian military sales, as Russia is expected to prioritize supplying its own forces, while trade sanctions will make it more difficult. This is in addition to pressure from the US, e.g., Katsa, and its allies to discourage countries from acquiring Russian weapons. At the same time, and as expected from the contracts obtained in recent years, France could take Russia's place as the second largest arms exporter, with its market share increasing from 7.1% to 11% during the periods 2013-17 and 2018-22. This represents a 44% increase in its exports, especially to Asia, Oceania, and the Middle East. India received 30% of French arms exports in 2018-22. France has overwhelmed the United States as India's second largest arms supplier, after Russia, the SIPRI study notes. For Peter D. Wiesman, principal investigator of the SIPRI Arms Transfers Program, France is gaining a larger share of the global arms market, while Russian arms exports are declining, and this trend is likely to continue because, by the end of 2022, France had many more arms orders in hand than Russia. In addition, France increases the distance with the 4 countries located at the bottom of the podium, since China sees its arms sales fall by 23%. Less than Germany, 35%, and the United Kingdom, 35%. And one of the biggest gains was from South Korea, which got major contracts: K-2 Peta-Liters Black Panther tank, K-9 Thunder howitzers, K-239 Chunbu multiple rocket launcher, and Fa-50 aircraft, in Poland. Precisely, the return of the war to the old continent has caused European countries to increase their main arms imports by 47% between the periods 2013-17 and 2018-22, with Ukraine being responsible for a large part of this increase since it has become the third largest arms importer in the world in 2022, says SIPRI. From 1991 to the end of 2021, Ukraine imported few major weapons. Thanks to the military aid of the United States and many European states, after the Russian invasion of February 2022, Ukraine became the third largest importer of major arms in 2022, after Qatar and India, and the 14th in 2018-22. Ukraine represents 2.0% of world arms imports during these 5 years, says the Swedish Institute. It also notes that European NATO members have increased their arms imports by 65% as they seek to bolster their arsenals in the face of a perceived increased threat from Russia. This benefits the United States and South Korea. Thanks for watching.